Hey, it's Dana Jones for 5 Points Blue, and tonight we're at Charlotte Jones Anderson's house for a private book signing from the Bachelor's host, Chris Harrison, who just wrote a novel. We also happen to find out he's a huge Cowboys fan, so we took a moment to talk some football. You're back in your hometown. Apparently you're a Cowboys fan.
Apparently. No, there's no bigger Cowboy fan than I. I'm born and raised. I mean, it's more of a birthright than a decision when you're from Dallas.
I personally have seen you on the field during pregame warm-ups. As a fan, what's that experience like for you?
Well, I mean, especially at the new stadium. I mean, I grew up under the dome of the Texas Stadium, and, you know, that place was kind of sentimental because it meant a lot to me because that's where, you know, we were in the 70s and 80s, and we had some good years back then. And of course, in the 90s with Troy and the boys. But, you know, that new stadium, I don't know, I just feel like I'm in Disneyland. It's so big. You just can't, you don't know where to look. It's incredible. And to be down there with, obviously, you know, Tony and Witten and all the boys and Charlotte and Jerry and Steven, and it's like family now, which is great. So not only am I a fan, but now it's like coming home and seeing family.
Do you conveniently plan your trips home around our home schedule?
Well, not conveniently. That is the first thing I do. As soon as the schedule is set, I look at my Bachelor schedule, I look at everything, and like, how many home games can I hit? And then I call Charlotte or I call Tony, and I'm like, this is when I'm coming in. But probably my biggest honor, and this is my 12, 13-year-old self, I was on the field last time I was here, and someone came up to me from PR and said, do you mind? That was literally a question. Do you mind? The cheerleaders would like for you to come into the locker room and say hi to them. Like,
how is that a question?
I said, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't have time. I wish I could come in and say hi to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, the women that shaped my youth. Yeah. To this day, I think I still have their calendar on the wall.
So tell me a little bit about what's going on tonight and what it means to you to have this event at your house.
Well, we are excited to have Chris Harrison, a great Dallas Cowboy fan, here in town, a native Texan, to launch his book, The Perfect Letter, and just grab a whole bunch of girls to come celebrate a great night.
So tell me, how long have you known Chris? Like, how does the relation happen? And just the common love for the Cowboys always helps people relate in general, but how far back do you and Chris, the whole family, goes?
Well, I tell you, that's it. I think the Cowboys certainly draw people together, and that's what we love about the game and we love about our team. And a few years ago, I had the chance to meet Chris, and he was on the sidelines of the Cowboy games, and then he came to host an event my mother and I put on in Austin for the Texas Medal of the Arts. And while we were there this February, we got to talking and got to be really good friends, and he told me about his book, and I invited him back home and thought we would have a great welcome home party for him, and that's really how tonight came about. But it really was the Cowboy connection that got us together.
I think I've read in the past that if any of our players were to be the next Bachelor, I believe you've mentioned Des Bryant would be a potential good one.
Well, you know, Miles was. I think Miles Austin definitely wanted to be, but obviously not an option now. So, I mean, Des. Because here's the thing about Des. First of all, if you've ever seen him, he's a specimen. The guy's a freak. So you got that. The hot tub scenes would be just fine. But I think he's also just so emotional, right? And so you're going to get the tears, you're going to get the drama. I think you'd get it all with Des. And plus, honestly, it's just a selfish way for me to hang out with Des Bryant for like 10 weeks.
Talking with Chris, I asked him who he thinks would be a great Bachelor. Of the guys on our team, he thinks the hot tub scenes with Des Bryant would be unforgettable.
Well, there's probably many of our guys that could be pretty unforgettable, but it's probably best that they stick to doing what they do best, which is scoring touchdowns and defending. So we'll probably leave it at that.
Perfect. Is there anything else you would like to add about tonight's event?
Well, it's just great to have a chance to get a lot of great girlfriends together, a lot of our great partners with the Cowboys and great friends and great colleagues, and celebrate a fun night and toast to something that we really think is fun and frivolous, but it's all about being together and it's all about cheering for the team.